Fun night tonight. What did you overall give us your initial impressions?
That just felt like big time fighting in there. I mean, I think the women really delivered. And I was just talking to Hector about you know, the growth of female fighting, you know, since like '06. The California State Commission under Armando Garcia wouldn't allow female fights at all. Like the very first fight we had in California, they said no female fights are allowed, and we fought hard. 6 months later, Elena Maxwell fought Gina Carano, and that was only 3-minute rounds. So they wouldn't let 5-minute rounds happen, and they wouldn't let 5 rounds go on. So then it was another 1.5 years. So almost a 2-year process to get to the point where the females could fight like the men. And I think that if you see, you know, the talent level of the females fighting today, or you know, whenever, it's, you know, it's unbelievable, and I think you saw some really great talent today.
On that note, Carrie Melendez just won. She's a strawweight right now. Could we expect a strawweight division at some point? You know,
I think the original deal was that she was supposed to fight at 125. I don't think she can hold the weight, so I think we're going to think about, you know, what we're going to do. So we'll make that decision at a later time.
Alina obviously came out and said she'd love to fight in Hawaii.
Yes.
You know, we haven't seen a major organization in Hawaii in a long time. Realistically, I mean, we know about the operational hurdles, taxation, just logistics, all that. But is it something that you'd explore? Is it something that's possible?
I tell you what, I'm going to go there next week to do the site survey, and then I'll let you guys know. It might take me a 1.5 to 2 months, but then we can talk about it. And I'll circle back with every single one of you guys.
Have you ever kicked the tires on it though? And
Absolutely. You know, the biggest. Let me tell you about mixed martial arts in Hawaii. I mean, T.J. Thompson was a pioneer, started promoting in what, 93, 94, 95? And if you look at the list of people that guy promoted way back in the day, he promoted everybody. You know, any big star came through Hawaii at some point and fought. So Hawaii, and then B.J. Penn, you know, came from Hawaii, and then, you know, it's the list, the amount of talent that's come out of Hawaii is pretty impressive. So, you know, we've always, you know, like, wanted to go there. It's just the time frame is challenging, because now you're on a Friday, and now you have to promote at, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That makes it tough. But if there's a way to do it, we will find the way to do it.
On the converse of that, you know, we just had Valerie in here. You have Rory McDonald. We haven't seen Bellator go up to Canada in quite a few years. Could we see Bellator up in Canada?
Absolutely. One of our goals is to take Rory in a big fight there sometime. You know, it looks like it's going to be 2019. And the reason is just that, you know, the venues there are so packed, it's so booked, it's hard to get a date. You know, they have, you know, hockey, they have basketball, they have concerts, and it's just hard to match a date with one of the dates we have. Otherwise, we would be up there, and Rory would, you know, he might be fighting Gegard up there, you know, so it's hard to get a date there, but we're trying to work it out.
Too, right? And Julia Budd.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Well, will that play into the thinking at some point, Scott, that given that Canada is a DAZN territory, that you are going to go to Canada at some point, you will take one or the other?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we would have went anyway. Like, we're going to go, and it's always been in the plans. It's just that, you know, our dates have to line up with television for Paramount and now DAZN. So, you know, if they don't, then it's hard, because the venue's not available or TV's available, and we gotta, you know, we gotta work it out.
As a top line this week, going back to, you know, what the women did tonight and how the card delivered, you know, given that it's been a momentous week for the organisation with the Tuesday press conference in New York, was it gratifying to you tonight that the card really delivered for all those watching who've seen this $100 million deal just being made? Yeah,
I mean, listen, it's a groundbreaking deal for the company, and you know, I think that the moves that we've made over the last 3 years, I think, have been have been strong, and now it just gives us the ability to keep growing what we're growing, go after every free agent that's out there, be very aggressive with, you know, trying to develop new talent, and, you know, simmer and sign like Aaron Pico, you know, like, or, you know, AJ McKee, or, you know, Gallagher. I mean, there's other people out there we want to sign, and we want to bring them up and do it the right way, and give them a really good chance to be successful in the sport. And that takes time, it takes money, it takes patience. You can't just throw them in there and think they're going to perform, because, you know, it's just a different sport than.
But the way the event ran tonight, the way the women were, as you say, it kind of put a tick at the end of the sentence, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how could you not love what you saw today? I mean, it was unbelievable, you know. And to me, it's like I said, the females delivered. You know, it was a great night for you know, for Bellator, but also a great night that, look, they can fight and they can perform and they can create fan bases. They, you know, there's no difference. It's just, you know, look at Carano, look at Cyborg, look at Rousey. I mean, you know, you're looking at the birth of the next female star right here.
But the four women on the main, excuse me, John, Mike. The four women on the main card tonight. All week though, they have been amazing role models and characters, and respect levels have been off the charts. And yet, once the switch was flicked tonight, they really delivered. And that level of respect and the way they're carrying themselves is just brilliant, frankly.
Yeah, and I love that. You know, to me, that's you know what I call that's the martial arts in them that you're seeing. You know, and they all come from traditional martial arts schools and have that character, that respect, and that, you know, discipline and the indomitable spirit to become, you know, to be a great fighter. And I think you saw that in Lima. Lima was tested tonight, right? I mean, that was no easy fight for her. And I was telling Rich sitting there, I go, you know what? Now we got to fight, and Lima's going to have to dig deep. So let's see what she's made out of. And she performed. So.
Same for Valerie.
Yes. I mean, you know, you saw the girls have to dig and earn it tonight.
Just to get it on the record, is that the next fight? Are you going to do Lima versus Valerie? Does that seem like it makes sense to you?
That seems like a really good fight. It's just where we do it and when we do it.
And then what about Syed? He was back here. He said he, you know, wants Permis. I don't know if you have an update on Chandler, but I assume if you re-sign him, you'll be doing him and Permis. But
yeah, I mean, we're working on Chandler, and you know, hopefully things are going well. But I don't have an update on that. But you know, I mean, Syed's going to be out for, you know, another 5-6 months, and so, you know, he'll have a shot though. He'll have his time in the cage with somebody.
Is Permis close to being ready?
Yeah, he is. I think you're gonna see him pretty soon. We'll have something to announce pretty soon.
Speaking
you said in San Jose that we might get, you know, an update on when we'll see the next round of the heavyweight Grand Prix. Are we any closer to announcing?
I know the exact date, but I can't tell y'all.
Oh, thanks a lot.
No, but
you haven't had time, have you? You haven't had time to sort.
No, but you know, yes, you're right, Gary. I just got off the plane. No, but you know what? I would just put in your calendars mid-October as the fight that, or the date, kind of the time frame that both of those fights will happen. But we'll have something to announce hopefully soon. I mean, I want to announce this thing soon so we can get it out there and tell all the fighters. And you know, we're trying to keep it in close proximity. And like, I don't want one fight to happen and then the next semifinals fight a month later. I don't think it's fair. I think they should happen, you know.
So not on the same card, but close
they will
together.
not fight on the same card. Yeah.
Okay, we're close together.
Speaking of tournaments, did Ed Ruth impress you enough tonight to get one of those invites?
He might. You know, I thought he did a good job.
Great.
Let me tell you, that guy is he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. You know, and you know, I was talking to Bob. I said, you know, maybe what we'll do is we'll find somebody that is ready to step into the tournament. They could have one more fight between now and when, let's say they fight in the quarterfinals in February or March, like at the third quarterfinals. But maybe they fight earlier than that, maybe in August, and then whoever wins the fight between Ed and the fighter will put into they'll fight their way into the slot.
Welterweight is so deep for you guys.
Yes.
Have you considered doing 16 men instead of 8? is that even a possibility?
You know what? I haven't even thought about it, but you know, now you're throwing me back to my K1 days when, you know, and then we'll have a 32-man tournament, 64-man tournament. Now, you know, I think 8 is good because to me, tournaments happen honestly when there's 8 big stars or 8, you know, really, really worthy candidates to fight, and that's what I think we found with the heavyweight tournament. I think in the welterweight tournament, you'll see the same thing. You'll see some big names. You'll see some, you know, some guys that you might go, whoa, what, you know, but you never know. Like, you never know how these tournaments work out. You know, it's just the luck of the draw sometimes. Or if you have a bad night, you're off. You know, or you get injured, then the alternate comes up. Just like the Strike Force in 2011, we had a kid nobody even knew named Daniel Cormier, who was a second alternate. It wasn't even the first alternate. That was Bobby Lashley. He was the first alternate, and then so Daniel came in eventually and won the whole thing. So you never know in this type of.
Scott, what are you leaning on that tournament? That Rory's in it or not, and would his belt be on the line or not? I mean, there's a lot of interesting possibilities.
You know, I know the answer to that, but I can't tell you.
Yeah. So you made the decision.
Yes, we've already talked to Rory, and but you know what? We're gonna host another function with DAZN, middle of July in New York City, and we're gonna have all the answers for you guys. Who's in it? What's at stake? How it's gonna roll out? The dates, everything. So, and then DAZN will also announce some of their boxing matches on the same press function, as well as I think their price point and how they're gonna, break into the U.S. market and things they're gonna do. And
It's on the 16th.
I think it's on the
July the 16th,
I think
Monday,
it's July
17th. The Tuesday.
And that day you'll announce all the participants.
Because Eddie Hearn's coming to that as well with you all, isn't it?
That's right.
Doing the whole thing together.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to talk to Eddie Hearns about doing something together.
Yeah.
Why should we not do? I mean, and it doesn't have to be the same location even, but it could be on the same night. Be a double header. Yeah, like 2 hours of boxing, 2 hours of MMA, and let's get it on. It could be fun. It could be a fun night for combat sports fans.
Earlier, you mentioned the importance of cultivating talent, and tonight we had 3 of your top blue chip prospects did extremely well. How good was that?
When you put a fight together, you never know what's going to happen, right? Or you give a guy a shot and you don't know what's going to happen, because sometimes you put guys that are blue chip prospects, and then you know what? They can't take a punch, or they don't know how to block the jiu-jitsu. That they're forced into situations that are uncomfortable. But when I see those guys perform, I just feel like the formula is working. And we're going to bring them along, and then they will be tested. And when they test them, we're going to test them against some tough guys. So, let these guys get some experience like they did tonight. But I think it's working out well.
That's what's so impressive to me, is that Bellator doesn't just feed them tomato cans like some other organizations might do. They're getting them really tough guys that have a lot of experience.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you just give them, like 10 easy fights, that's not really helping them either. They're just going to be in a bad situation on their 11th fight. So, to me, bring them along, but test them and continue to test them, and sooner or later, either they'll pan out or they won't, and it'll be very easy. I mean, it'll be clear why they did or did not.
Where was 50 Cent tonight, by the way?
I don't know. He's in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah. There's supposed to be one more women's fight. Father Ramirez obviously missed weight. What's the plan for Christy Lopez, who obviously showed up, was ready to fight?
Yeah. You know what? I'll have to get back with Rich on that and have him get back to you, because I'm sure he has something that he wants, to unroll. So we'll figure it out.
On a related note to the new talent, I know a couple weeks ago Shamrock FC announced that their champions will be getting Bellator contracts whenever they get their championships. Are we going to see more of that with Bellator, maybe even in the international markets?
Absolutely. If you look at not just Shamrock FC, but you look at Bama, we picked up a couple of their champions along the way here. And look, we're looking for the best fighters. I mean, look at Laura, the girl that fought Alima. She is impressive, I mean, give her another year or two to develop. I saw her fight in Florence against Lena, and she beat Lena. I was surprised. I really thought that, that it was going to go the other way before the fight started, but you never know. And so, when I think about what's next for some of these girls, I think we have some great fights ahead for all of them.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I was talking to Leslie Smith, who's here today, cornering Carrie Melendez. She said that she was kind of interested in actually coming here to Bellator once her situation is handled. Would that be somebody that you might be interested in at 125?
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert and I are talking, but I think we'll probably talk a little bit more, in another couple of weeks. But I thought she fought at 145. To be honest, I thought she was heavier than 25.
Yeah, she's fought at 125 twice. She went 1-1.
Okay, so you know more than I do. But what I'll do is I'll just tell her, hey, do you really want her to fight your wife one day, Gilbert? I don't know. Like you might get in trouble at home. But we'll see. I mean, it's like, look, if she's a great fighter, we want great talent. We're going to search the world and search every organization that wants to let their champions go at some point. And like there's organizations that know that, like, look, the fighter's going to eventually go somewhere, and why not come here? And we'll provide a great home for them. And I think we've done a good job at signing some top talent in the last year.
Yeah, and I think the question of the night has been, are we going to see a women's flyweight Grand Prix at some point?
That's interesting. You know what? Let me think about that one.
Okay.
He knows the answer, just not telling you.
Yeah, I can't tell you. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.